Hello everyone, this is the finale, for now of What If Naruto Left But Hinata Is Confused, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. You're not Sasuke. Naruto cried in astonishment. The man in the ground smiled in amusement, as his short black hair framed his pale face and dark eyes. Very good, Naruto. I am not Sasuke, he said wryly. Hinata watched from the other side of the wall, as Naruto shook his head in frustration and grabbed the man by the tee. If you're not Sasuke, then who are you, and why have you gone after my friends and me? He growled, pulling on strange man's black top. I thought I'd already told you that, Naruto. The man laughed. I needed you to restore my strength and my home. I don't understand. Hinata surveyed the dark room, as Naruto interrogated the man. Her eyes went wide in interest as she found 8 tiny vials of glowing chakra, each a different color. Carefully, she examined the small basement the two were in and realized where they were. So that's why he chose to hide in the police station. It holds the only laboratory in the compound within its walls. You still don't have any idea who I am, do you, boy? The man looked at the young man, pinning him to the ground. Doesn't Konoha teach you anything in the academy, or is everyone as dense as you? He said condescendingly as he looked up into Naruto's irritated face. I can tell by your expression that you are unaware of the danger you are really in, along with the young woman who is slyly waiting outside the door. Hinata shivered at his words and wrapped her arms around her waist, while her right hand unknowingly sought out the tiny heart resting on her chest. I don't think you understand the situation you're in. Naruto snarled. You're the one who is in a precarious position at the moment, so don't make idle threats to me or to Hinata. Hinata, the man repeated with interest. So the girl has a name, a very fitting one at that. I've never seen anyone else who could subdue the demon single-handedly. I must say, she has most definitely piqued my interest, as well as yours, I see. Does this mean you have finally given up on the pink-haired girl? A pained expression crossed Naruto's hard face. I see. Well, I guess true love never ss, but I can't help but wonder if she knows that. Hinata's heart pounded deep within her chest and she swallowed the lump in her tea, as a foreign feeling erupted inside her at Naruto's reaction to the pink-haired girl, and she looked down at her lace. You don't know what you're talking about. Naruto spat at the man, his hand closing tighter around his N. Hinata's given me a safe place to go home to, something you wouldn't understand. A small red flash appeared in his deep blue eyes. The man gave a satisfied smile, as Hinata watched the glowing red chakra in the pit of Naruto's stomach begin to boil. Naruto, she whispered in fear. Haven't you been listening to me, boy? You're the one who doesn't understand me. You've never known the joy of having a home, of building a home, only to have that home sped out from underneath you. Perhaps I can help you understand me more, by taking away the one person who matters most to you. Suddenly, the man disappeared and the Naruto clones fell to the ground with a hard clatter. I told you not to underestimate me, boy. The man flickered rapidly throughout the room, destroying each shadow clone, one after the other, until only one Naruto remained. In an instant, he traveled across the dark space and pushed Naruto up against the wall, his hands around his N. You are out of your league, boy. Naruto struggled wildly against the wall, as Hinata waited impatiently for his signal. Her forefingers twirling nervously around one another. Who are you? Naruto breathed out, as the man choked him harder. I am the man who helped found this village, the one who ran the Uchiha clan, the one who was feared and wronged by the very village I helped create and clan I had lead for so long. I was feared for my power and seen as an outcast. In retaliation, I released the famed fox demon on the village, and years later, I wiped out the very clan that deserted me all those years ago. My name is Madara Uchiha. Naruto's eyes widened in horror. I thought Madara Uchiha was S. Besides, you would be like 80 years old if you were him, and you hardly look a day over 30. You really a dense boy. I can live forever. You see, when I took my brother's eyes, after I had lost my eyesight, one of the side effects was immortality. Then why did you need me? You told me that you needed me because you were weak. Oh, trust me, I was. Just ask your friend outside. She was able to see the toll the years have taken on my body. You see, Naruto, I may be immortal, but my body doesn't maintain its strength, so as the years wear on, I become weaker and weaker. My powers fade more and more, that is why I needed you. I needed the chakra of the Kyuubi to replenish the strength I have lost. And now, I'm going to take the Kyuubi from you, so he will serve as my pet and I his master once more. Naruto's legs scrambled against the wall. How are you going to do that? The only way it can be done, I'm going to KO you. He hissed. Hinata put her hand on the door handle, ready to attack when he gave the signal. But why do you need the Kyuubi now? Naruto asked, frantic. Because, I need more of his chakra to help rebuild the clan I lost, the clan I mutilated so long ago. I see that I was wrong now. That it wasn't them that should have been punished for their misguided acts. It was me, I'm the one to blame, and now I need the chakra of all the tailed beasts to bring them back. With the 9 tails by side once again, I'll only need to gather the chakra from one more. I see. Naruto let out a low growl. Your clan wasn't at fault for what you were, just like I shouldn't blame myself for the loss of my friend. Hinata could see the familiar fiery orange chakra erupt within him, effortlessly taking over his body and mind. No, he can't handle that. Instantly, Hinata ran through the open door, hitting Madara from the side as she ran to protect Naruto. You little bee! Madara cried as he pulled himself off the ground and up to his full height. Hinata watched as his sinister chakra gathered at his, as she desperately concentrated on his stomach. All I want to do is rebuild my clan and live in peace, can't you just leave me alone? Hinata bit her lips in confusion, as she strategically placed herself between him and Naruto. Your price is too high, you want to rebuild your clan at the expense of another's life. She cried. Only one, compared with hundreds and thousands. It is a small price to pay for a home, for my own place in the world once more, the clan's guaranteed protection of the fox demon. Hinata shook her head. No, I won't let you do it. I won't let you KO Naruto. So be it, he said darkly. I'll just have to KO you too, it'll be such a waste, I wanted to study you a little more. Loud footsteps came running down the stairs, as Shikamaru, Shino and Lady Tsunade ran through the door. Stop right there, Lady Tsunade commanded the sinister man. Without hesitation, Madara lifted his hand and espied Hinata in the heart with a kunai and flickered himself behind Naruto, cutting the young man's tea with the same kunai he had ked Hinata with. Expectantly, he hovered over the boy's body, waiting for something to happen. Seize him! Tsunade yelled as Shino ordered a swarm of bugs to encase the unfamiliar man, and Shikamaru ensnared his legs with his shadow clone jutsu. Madara stared down at the two boss on the ground, his red eyes blazing, as his Sharingan saw through the facade. I see. He laughed maniacally as his limbs began moving toward his captors on their own and his eyes were blinded by the bugs. I see. That is why I couldn't control the Kyuubi. Suddenly, he disappeared, causing Shikamaru to stumble from the absent weight. There he is. Tsunade pointed to the far counter of the laboratory. Shino gathered his bugs into a tight fist and sent them hurling at Madara, as he quickly gathered the vials in his hands. The giant, flying fist, came crashing down, leaving nothing but chaos and debris behind it. When the dust finally settled, all they could find was the damaged remains of the Uchiha laboratory. He got away, how seabursome. Shikamaru complained as he examined the mess. I guess we should gather up Naruto and Hinata's boss and... They're gone. Shino replied emotionlessly. They've disappeared, just like Madara. They what? Shikamaru cried incredulously. This is definitely troublesome. They were boss, how did they get up and walk away? Tsunade walked sullenly over to the place the two young shinobi had been last. A small tear running down her cheek. Perhaps it's better this way, she said, trying to push back the feelings trying to escape through her eyes. The council wanted me to bring Naruto to them for judgment. They believed he was the one who killed Kiba. They don't care whether it was an accident or not, they have decided he is too dangerous to allow free. Life in a cell would never have been a good one for Naruto. He wouldn't have been able to take, he would have shriveled into a shell of himself and withered away. Shikamaru walked over to Tsunade and rested his hand on her shoulder in a comforting manner. It's too bad we didn't at least get the vials. Shikamaru mused, trying to take his mind away from the pain of losing two of his comrades. Shino nodded agreement as he surveyed the two people in the room with him. You guys can on ahead, I'll finish up in here. Tsunade gave Shino a consenting nod, as Shikamaru led her from the room. Shino stood in the middle of dark wreckage until he could no longer hear the distant footsteps of the Hokage and his fellow shinobi. Then he lifted his hand into the air, calling the tiny bug hiding in the corner back to him. We have work to do. He whispered to the small insect, as hundreds more appeared, arising and clearing the mess left in the forgotten room. When his bugs had finished gathering evidence and collecting data, Shino made his way into the darkness of the night. His eyes catching the three shadows flying over the tops of buildings in the moonlight. Goodbye my friends, he thought, as 6 bugs trailed after them. I'll join you soon, but first I must make my way home, for it cannot travel with me, unlike yours. Shino slowly made his way through the empty streets of the Uchiha compound. The emptiness echoing the death of his friend, as he admired the strength Hinata and Naruto had provided one another. He only hoped his relationship could mimic the balance Naruto and Hinata had found. As Shino came to the end of the path, he stopped and looked up at the night sky. There he could see her face and a slight smile crossed his face. She had been there when he needed her most and he had no worries that she would be there when he returned again. Shino packed his small pack, they were waiting for him, but he had one more thing to do. Quietly he slipped out of the sleeping house and made his way down the street, his heart heavy. As he turned the bend, he could clearly see the tall open gates leading out of Konoha. A small smile graced his unseen lips and he quickly made his way over to the young woman waiting there. The moment she saw him, she ran over to him, her long brown hair flying behind her. Shino, she breathed as she wrapped her arms around his waist, her brown eyes filling with tears. Must you go? She pleaded. Shino wrapped his arms around the woman, breathing in her scent. She smelled of spices and ramen, along with a hint of cinnamon. Shino basked in the sweetness of the young woman, knowing full well it would end shortly and he would have to go, unsure of when he would return. You know I must. We have to catch this man, it's the only way we can help Naruto. She cried into his arm a little and Shino tilted her head, so he could see her face. I will return to you. I promise. At his words, she lightly pushed herself onto the balls of her feet and gently placed a small kiss on his forehead. There's no need to make such promises. A familiar voice came from the gate. Shino turned to see a pair of familiar white eyes, and black flowing hair. Neji smirked at his comrade, as she leaned against the tall pillar that formed half of the gate. What do you mean by that? Flustered, Shino released his grasp in the young woman and stared intensely at Neji. Naruto's already told her she can go. I'm thinking he made the decision with his stomach and not his head, but Ayami seems to understand the danger. Besides, she threatened to follow us even if we didn't allow her to come. So in the end, we decided we could protect her better if she traveled along with us. Shino stared down at the young girl, who walked over to the gates and pulled her own pack out from behind the pillar. See, I'm all ready to go, she said proudly, her face beaming at Shino. I see, Shino mused. I have to say I'm not entirely enthralled with this idea, but at the same time, I know how stubborn you can be. So, I guess we should move out. Hinata and Naruto have waited for us long enough. The 3 shadowy figures walked out of the village, wasting no time taking cover in the trees. After they had traveled a good distance away from the village, they could make out 2 people waiting on the branch of a giant oak ahead of them. Hey, it took you guys long enough, Naruto said as he stood up and stretched. Sorry, Shino replied. So is she your new family jutsu you've been practicing all these years? Shino blushed at Hinata's words. We're ready to take off now, Shino answered, mortified at his friend's jest. Naruto and Hinata took the lead, while Neji fell in line at the back. Shino and Ayami ran side by side in the middle. They were silent for a while and Ayami spoke. What happened, Shino? Shino looked at her, startled by her question. None of the others had filled her in. You see, Madara, the former leader of the Uchiha, has returned. He was weak at first, so he came to the village, disguised as Sasuke, waiting for Naruto's return. When Naruto finally returned, Madara used his disguise to lure Sakura away, knowing this in turn would cause Naruto to follow, but he hadn't counted on anyone else following after him. Since he was too weak to take everyone on, he had to let Naruto go. The day that Kiba Madara had convinced Naruto to seek him out alone, but Hinata and Kiba both followed after him. That is when Naruto turned into the demon fox and accidentally killed Kiba. It was also during this battle that Madara got his hands on what he was originally after, the demon's chakra. He was able to regain the strength he has lost over the years through this method. Now it seems that Madara has a new goal. He wants to rebuild the Uchiha clan. For this, he needs the chakra of all the tailed demons in this world. Shino glanced at Ayami, who nodded in understanding. Unfortunately, the council decided that Naruto was a threat, and they wanted to lock him up, so we faked his death with the shadow clones. From that, Madara realized that Naruto couldn't control the power of the demon inside him as a shadow clone. A piece of information he found most valuable. Ayami shivered at the thought of this man running loose. So what are we going to do? We're going to find Madara. Shino's eyes hardened underneath his sunglasses. Shino was silent after that, as Ayami thought about what he had said. He would protect her, she was confident about that, but still, it was scary to think that this man was still alive after all this time, wandering around the world. Won't they come looking for us? The village, I mean. Ayami looked at Shino. No, not for a while. They have no need to follow myself or Neji, and they believe that Naruto and Hinata are even though they haven't found the boss. They probably believe that Madara took them when he used his time portal jutsu to teleport himself out. Ayami shook her head in understanding and then watched as the blonde man in front of her jumped down from the branches they were traveling on and quickly returned, with a beautiful pink offering for the radiant Hyuga girl, her silver locket gleaming in the moonlight. She smiled as the two exchanged a warm look and felt hopeful as the five of them made off into the night. The end. For now. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.